Hello. People seeking advice about EVs often look at me strangely when I mention Polestar. Like they don't know what I'm talking about. And in fact, they think I'm talking about a lap dance rather than something from Lapland. Well, near enough to Lapland because that's where Sweden is compared to Finland. Anyway, this identity crisis may all be over because Volvo's standalone EV brand is just about to release its first proper Tesla Model Y rival, the Polestar 4. Now, if you're in the market for a luxury SUV, especially a stylish coupe one, should this make your shortlist? Let's dive straight in. Now, if you want to be the new disruptor in town, you don't want to mention the old EV disruptor, so this car is also vying for buyers who might consider the Audi Q6 e-tron, the Porsche Macan EV, the BMW iX3, the Mercedes-Benz EQC and the Genesis GV60. Two grades are available at launch, the single motor rear-wheel drive from $81,500 before on road costs, as well as the dual motor all-wheel drive versions that start from $93,050. With no back window, standard features include a digital rear view mirror of course, along with a 15.4-inch touchscreen with full Google functionality, surround view cameras, adaptive cruise control, heat pump climate control efficiency, recycled vegan textile upholstery, powered and heated front seats, seat memory for up to 6 drivers, ambient lighting, flush door handles, a power tailgate and 20-inch alloys. Do note though that some of the goodies you see on your screen, like those dazzling pixel LED headlights, the electrochromic glass roof, Napa leather trim, vented and massaging front seats, powered rear bench, tri-zone rear climate controls and 22-inch wheels cost a lot extra or are bundled up together, like in this optional plus pack from around $8,000. On the safety front, the Polestar's Volvo connection ensures leading advanced driver assist systems for next level crash avoidance and injury mitigation. More on that in the safety section later on. And then there's a Tesla-esque animal mode climate setting with a twee high-vis graphic should you dare leave a pet inside your car. Not under that scorching glass roof, thanks. Anyway, Polestar also makes a big deal about the 4's traced materials, circularity, sustainability and low carbon production footprint. Note that, along with the dramatically stronger performance and four-wheel drive security that the extra electric motor brings, the dual motor all-wheel drive also adds active dampers for a softer ride. As the young brand's most important vehicle ever, the premium position 4 is priced competitively, just above better specified mainstream alternatives like the Hyundai Ioniq 5, Ford Mustang Mach-E, Kia EV6 and Toyota BZ4X, but below the more established European, Japanese and Korean luxury rivals. But the Tesla Model Y, which is also out of China, substantially undercuts the Polestar on price, if not style. I mean, Elon's EV doesn't look like a Cylon from behind now, does it? Now, earlier I said this is a sexy design, and that's because Polestar has reimagined the looks and the proportions of this car. So the windscreen's a bit pulled forward, the press pack says that this bonnet line is a little bit lower, but more importantly, it's what they've done at the back that has made the changes. So the rear header is further back, and they've gotten rid of the rear window completely in order to create more room inside, and coupled with the fact that there's a slightly lower seating position, it means that you don't suffer any of the compromises that a lot of coupe SUVs do. Now, from a styling perspective, this car's got some stunning details. I don't know whether you like the way the rear setup is windowless, but it certainly makes a statement. And the LED lighting details, both at the front and the rear, as well as the kind of like the design of the wheels and the fact that the badges illuminate, they all just speak of a difference. And I think that's what Polestar is trying to say here. They want to make a vehicle that stands out from the crowd. Do you like the look of it? Let us know in the comments below. And it's not just the cool exterior details that make a difference, like these retractable door handles and the frameless windows, which are very sports coupe-like. Sitting inside, it's clear that the Polestar Swedish minimalism ideology certainly carries on inside here. There's this super large screen, no real physical buttons other than the ones you actually need. So everything is within this very advanced Android driven interface. So in terms of getting vehicle settings and the climate control and the audio settings and all the other things that you need to operate, it's all in there. Polestar has worked very hard in making sure that the interface has improved, that it's fast, that you don't have to dive into too many of the sub-menus, and that the responses are, as you would expect them to be. So it does require some familiarization, but it does work out well. The basics, well, excellent driving position. Again, you have to go into the menu to operate the steering wheel in terms of reach and height, and the mirrors, exterior mirrors as well, which, by the way, don't they look good mounted on the plinth? You can just, they're a little bit of art that the driver can see from here as they're driving, so you can appreciate the design if it gone in, but I digress. Anyway, very clear instrumentation, all the multimedia things that you need. Beautiful recyclable materials abound in here. There's a lot of PET, second life stuff that Polestar has worked hard in order to produce. And the resulting textures and ambience are, I think, very premium. The ambient lighting, Polestar uses the solar system planets to come up with different moods and colors and all that sort of stuff. That's quite cool. These seats, they're tombstone seats. They're really comfortable and supportive in the way that you would expect to be. There's a natty little column shifter here, which liberates space here for storage below or above, with cup holders and this center console bin and USB-C ports and all that stuff. I don't like the fact that you have to go into the setting in order to open the glove box. You have to go and press this and then this for that to open. That kind of sucks. But it's what happens out back, and in fact how you look out back, that makes a difference, beginning with the fact that there is a camera mirror here because there's no rear window. So let's hop in there and see what that's all about. Okay. The most impressive part as far as packaging is concerned is back here. That's my driving position, this is me behind it. I'm 178 centimeters and I can almost sit back here if I wanted to. Additionally, all Polestar 4s have reclinable seats at the back, well, for extra comfort. And because the rear roof header rail system has been moved back and that this is a lower floor, there's, I don't have any of the typical coupe SUV headroom issues. I could almost wear a hat in here and still be comfortable. The ambience is as good as up front. And one of the things I really like about these cars is that you can kind of see the kind of cylindrical shape of the cabin and the thin tombstone seats that, combined with the optional glass roof, it just has a sense of space and airiness, and that to me is a luxury onto its own. Climate control controls from back here, air vents as well, plenty of storage in this retractable armrest. The center position is not bad either. I'm not sure if I ruined the focus there, Mr. Camera person, but anyway. But overall, it's actually really nice. And traveling back here, I found that there wasn't much road noise, and overall, it was very comfortable and relaxing place to be. Yeah, I'd say it's one of this group's best rear seat efforts. Anyway, let's move out to the back of the car, and I want to show you another benefit of the packaging in the Polestar 4. Let's go. Back here in the Polestar 4, There's a low, flat floor, which is wide enough for long items and deep enough with the 2-level flooring system, so you have quite a lot of height. Plus, because there's no back window, Volvo, or rather Polestar, helpfully provides a flap that separates the compartments, so you can feel ensconced in luxury without having to hear any of the things in the back move around when you're sitting in the back seat. Underneath the floor, there is more storage for cables, as well as the tyre repair kit, which means sadly you don't get a spare wheel. However, other than that, it's certainly large enough for most family needs, and the capacity should be on your screen right now. The base rear drive Polestar 4 uses a permanent magnet synchronous motor located on the back axle to deliver 200 kilowatts of power and 343 newton meters of torque. This means it can zip to 100 in an energetic 7.1 seconds on the way to a 200 km/h top speed. Meanwhile, the dual motor version adds another motor up front for all-wheel drive, nearly doubling the outputs while halving acceleration. Co-developed in China with parent company Geely, the Polestar 4 employs a variation of the flexible SEA architecture found in a number of other models, including the upcoming Zeekr 001, and features a 4-link suspension design up front and an integral link out back. Between the axles lies a 100 kWh battery pack, which Polestar records can provide up to 620 kilometers of WLTP range in the long-range single-motor version, along with under 18 kWh per 100 kilometers of energy consumption. Our hard-driven dual-motor test car was showing figures in the mid-20s. With an 11 kilowatt AC charging capacity, you'll need up to 2 whole days to fully charge the 4 from zero at home using a regular plug, but Polestar will sell you a 7 kilowatt wall box to slash that to under 15 hours. Meanwhile, a 50 kilowatt DC public charger only needs about 1.5 hours to go from 10 to 80% full, or around 45 minutes plugged into an increasingly more common 100 kilowatt outlet. To help preserve range, the 4 includes a disconnect clutch, which allows the front motor in the all-wheel drive version to disengage when not needed. It also offers bi-directional charging as well as vehicle-to-load capability to power appliances. Great for camping. But as the low-slung styling and impressive specifications suggest, this SUV coupe is made for on-road driving pleasure. So, does it deliver? Righto, I'm finally behind the wheel of a Polestar 4, and I've got to say, this is a tale of two cars. I'm driving the single motor base model with a few options, and I've got to say this is all the Polestar you need, or it's all the EV you need in fact, because it has ample acceleration, quite exhilarating performance when you need it, like when you put your foot down it pins you to the seat, and the steering is light enough yet has a nice amount of feedback and feel for it to be manoeuvrable enough around town, yet involving and rewarding out on the country roads like the ones we're on right now. Additionally, even though it doesn't have the adaptive dampers that the dual motor model has, it rides sweetly. There's just a natural fluency to this car that improves on all the good things that the updated Polestar 2, this car's baby brother, achieved a year or so ago. So I'm all for this car. It's just so nice to drive. It's easy, it's pliable and comfortable. A relaxing drive. Now, the all-wheel drive version, the dual motor performance one, has some real advantages over this car, and namely it's like outright oomph. It's got the muscle to really power you out of situations. Its 0 to 100 time is up there with, or down there I should say, with Teslas and performance cars and Porsches and that sort of stuff. So it's quite the exhilarating EV. However, and you can feel there's a but coming, and that is that at least on the 22-inch wheeled versions that we drove, I feel that more is a bit less, because you kind of feel the weight more around corners. So what is quite agile and athletic in a series of curves just becomes a little bit heavy and cumbersome. Not cumbersome, but just you feel the weight going back to back. The steering's quite light. I found it easy around town, and there were 3 modes, so you know, but even just in the regular mode it was light enough, yet it provided certainly enough feel for it to be engaging and involving. My only issue is that this is riding on the 22-inch wheel and tyre package, and maybe around tight corners I felt it was a little bit lumpy, and a little it didn't have the naturalness and the fluidness that I would have hoped that you get in the better performance driver orientated EV SUVs. But you know, for most people, and certainly in almost every situation that it will be used in, it's fine. Now, of course, being the dual motor version, there are adaptive dampers as standard, and so the ride is it goes from being very good to exemplary given the size of the wheel and tyre package. Also, it doesn't telegraph too much road noise or tyre noise as well. So that's another thing. It's quite a refined and sophisticated driving experience. And in fact, I'd go as far as saying is, on my first drive experience, at least here in Spain, the Polestar 4 certainly lives up to the promise of what it is, a premium coupe-like SUV. It's agile, it's certainly very quick, it's involving, and it's comfortable. How it drives on Australian roads, well, we'll get to find that out very shortly, but this first taster, it's looking very promising indeed. Now, since filming this test drive, Polestar has informed us that all Australian-bound 4s will receive a revised suspension tune compared to the setup we drove in the dual-motor all-wheel drive version. It should fix the steering and handling inconsistencies that we discovered. Given that we experienced no such issues in the single-motor rear-wheel drive version that was fitted with the new and updated Euro tune anyway, this is great news for potential buyers, as is the 4's obsession with safety. Polestar has not released any crash test ratings for the 4, though a 5-star result is anticipated, given that's exactly what the related Zeekr 001 has managed recently. That's due to an exhaustive list of both active and passive safety tech, including advanced driver assist systems, 7 airbags and more. The Swedes seem to live for their safety. I mean, literally. Further details can be found in my Polestar 4 review at carsguide.com.au. Polestar provides a 5-year unlimited kilometre warranty, as well as free servicing for that time frame or the first 100,000 kilometres, whichever occurs first. Service intervals are at every 2 years or 30,000 kilometres, while an 8-year 160,000 kilometre warranty on the battery pack is also offered, meaning it will be replaced for free if it falls under 70% capacity within that period of time. There is also a 12-year anti-corrosion warranty. On paper then, Polestar has done everything it can to ensure that the 4 is a success in Australia. But should you buy one? On first acquaintance, the new Polestar 4 has the design, the performance, the luxury, the refinement and the dynamics to make a very convincing coupe SUV. In my opinion, with this brief introduction, I would say that the single motor rear wheel drive is marginally more fun to drive, as well as more refined, so that's probably where our money would go, but we'll have to wait till we get this car on Australian roads to see what it really is like. Anyway, you can read the full review at carsguide.com.au, and as always, thanks for watching.